Hello, Malcolm here, and welcome to the Sunday Sample for Corporate Worship Matters. And in these recordings, we're trying to help each other to be the most effective lead worshipers we can be for the corporate worship settings, the collective worship settings we find ourselves in, whether it's in a house church or a big auditorium. Many of the same principles and practicals apply. So these are tips, they are ideas, they are theological and spiritual thoughts to help us to be best prepared in every sense to be able to lead others and enjoy the transformative corporate worship that means so much to us. And today what I want to talk about is something that happened this last Sunday in Thames Valley. We had a great time together. We had some lovely singing, some interesting things shared by various people. And then in the sermon, Tim Dannett preached, and he preached from Daniel chapter 3 on Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that great story about the fiery furnace. And our final song after the sermon was planned to be a song called Send Us Out, which I like because it's us going out from the gathering into the world. But anyway, whilst I was sitting there, we were coming towards the conclusion of the sermon, and CJ was sitting behind me. And he tapped me on the shoulder and showed me his screen on his phone. And it said something like, check your email, I think it said. And I did that, and I checked my email on my smart device, and there he made the suggestion of, should we consider changing the final song to the song Wade in the Water? And the reason he suggested that was there's a verse in Wade in the Water that says, like Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, God's going to trouble the water, through faith into the fiery furnace I go. God's going to trouble the water. Like David slew Goliath with just one shot, my faith in the Lord is fiery hot. So there's a verse there about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and about the fiery furnace, which Tim is preaching about. What an appropriate song to sing at the end of a service. And I thought about it, and I was in a bit of a dilemma, so I'll just take you through my thought process here. I'm in a dilemma. We've already planned the final song. We have the words printed for the song leaders. We have the chords for the instrumentalists. We have the slides for the keynote or PowerPoint ready to show. To change it would require significant disruption. We need to find the right chords for the instrumentalists. We need to put the right songs on screen and change that. And we need to sort of get that ready and not be too disruptive. And so what to do? Should we change it? Should we not? It is a more appropriate song. I think CJ was right, but part of me was hesitant because I've now got to get up and we've got to change things and it could take a while. So what should we do? Well, in the end, I felt that the appropriateness of the song outweighed the disruption to the service. And so I got up and I said, CJ's made a great suggestion. I think it'd be great to sing this song. Then I asked Heinrich, who was sitting nearby, to go to my laptop, because I know he understands Mac computers, which I have a Mac, to go and find the lyrics to Wade in the Water, the keynote slides on my laptop, because I knew he'd know how to do that, and to insert them. And in the meantime, just actually before that, I had found the lyrics and sent them via WhatsApp to Alice Dannett, who was one of our worship team, and I asked her to forward them via WhatsApp to our worship teams. We have a worship team group, so that the worship team would have the lyrics on their smart devices, and then the lyrics, Heinrich figured that out. He figured it out in like 10 seconds, projecting them, which was great. So the song leaders, our worship team, have them. They're on the screen for the rest of the congregation. And then Rudy and I decided that all we needed to do for this song, luckily, it's only really 2 chords. You can get away with E minor and D for Wade in the Water, and that's all you really need. And so we agreed that. And then we got on with it, and the congregation responded really well. They responded well to the freshness, the creativity, the taking initiative to do something different and appropriate. And when we stood up to sing the song, they sang it with extra energy. In fact, I'm sure they sang that song with greater focus and energy and appreciation than they would have done if we'd sung the original song. Nothing wrong with the original song I'd picked, but there was something about the congregation knowing that this song had been chosen particularly to reflect on the sermon we've just heard, and that it was appropriate. So it was disruptive, but for a good reason. Now, my question to you is, How do you decide when to make a change? Not just how. The how is not always important. We can figure that out. But whether. How do we decide whether to have some disruption? Because there will be some disruption. Inevitably, if you're going to change the song, however smooth your technology, there'll be some. What makes you decide? How do you decide whether it's worthwhile, that disruption happening? For us, on that occasion, it was worth it. It was creative. It was worshipful. And I think it edified everybody. But I'd like to know what you think about how to make that decision. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment box, whether you're listening to the recording on the podcast or watching the YouTube video. Leave a comment in the comment box and leave it publicly so that we can learn from each other, because we learn best and we're learning in a community. If you know anybody who might benefit from this recording, please pass the link on, hit the notification button, the subscribe button, leave a review in Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts from. That would be wonderful. And I do hope and pray that the next time you gather with all the saints, whether you're singing the songs you've chosen or whether you're going to change them at the last minute, I pray that you have a wonderful time of worship, worshiping the Lord with gladness and with the right kind of awe and reverence. Until the next time, take care and God bless.